What does a solo performance mean if the people closest, those who understand the process behind it the most, react with expressions that can't be read? Jungkook, long known as BTS's magne with the most precise and disciplined performance, once again shocked the world. But the surprise didn't come solely from the quality of his performance. It came from the faces of BTS members caught on camera in profound silence, holding something unspoken. The stage seemed to belong only to Jungkook. He stood alone, in a single spotlight, with a voice that filled the room without the distraction of complex choreography or theatrical arrangement. But anyone who witnessed that night knew that the true strength came from something invisible, the dynamic between him and the members. The audience may have focused on vocals and stage technique, but the camera angles capturing the reactions of Jin, Jimin, Taehyung, and RM revealed a far deeper emotional layer. The BTS members' reactions were a crucial signal that what was happening wasn't just an ordinary performance. Jin appeared to suppress a smile while looking down, as if trying to hide emotions too real. Jimin stayed silent longer than usual, his eyes shimmering. RM crossed his arms with a hardened jaw, and Taehyung barely blinked. None of these expressions were scripted stage effects. They were raw responses, reflexes of shock, pride, and perhaps a bit of fear over how fast Jungkook's solo journey is evolving. This was reinforced by Jin's statement a month earlier, that Jungkook would be much busier than him. To some, it sounded like a casual remark. But after witnessing that performance and the members' reactions, the statement felt like a sign. As if the members already knew what was coming, but still couldn't emotionally prepare for the moment they finally saw it firsthand. Suga was not physically present at the event, still fulfilling his social service. Yet the public could almost imagine how he would have reacted. He's known as the member most sensitive to musical quality and emotional depth in every detail of a show. And if even the others were left speechless, it's no stretch to assume Suga, from afar, felt the same, whether in a private message, a long silence, or a meaningful stillness. What stood out was not only Jungkook's transformation as a performer, but also how the BTS members responded to that change. Their reactions painted two sides of the same coin: pride in seeing a fellow member break boundaries, and bitterness in realizing that a new era had begun. An era where each member walks increasingly individual, larger paths, possibly growing distant from the together concept that once felt so strong. Jungkook didn't just appear as a singer. He stood as a symbol of change, the new face of BTS's next generation. But like a painting incomplete without its frame, the performance would have felt lacking without the meaningful silent gestures of his members. Those who had trained, traveled, and endured pressure together were now spectators in a more personal phase. Their reactions were not accessories. They were a crucial part of the story. When the camera caught Taehyung exhaling deeply, or when Jimin could only stand in silence after the stage lights went dark, fans knew this wasn't merely technical. It was a moment of transition, a signal that Jungkook had entered a new realm, one that even those closest to him had to reprocess to understand who he has become. What's more interesting is that none of them gave any direct comments on stage. No hacks, no excessive applause. Just silence. And in an entertainment world often filled with hyperbolic expressions and theatrical reactions, that silence spoke the loudest. If the public judged Jungkook's performance only by his voice and gestures, then they saw only a part of the show. To grasp its full meaning, they had to observe the members' reactions. Because that's where the real story begins. From RM's blank stare, Jin's odd blinking rhythm, Jimin lowering his head and sighing deeply. It's all part of a broader narrative, that Jungkook's performance didn't just entertain. It shook the internal emotional structure of BTS itself, in a world where performances can be manufactured and scenarios scripted. Honesty can only be found in unscripted reactions. And that night, the camera captured more than just the stage. It captured a reflection, how Jungkook has exceeded expectations, and how BTS as an entity is witnessing the birth of a new chapter they may not be ready to welcome. That's why Jungkook's performance can't be fully judged without seeing how the BTS members responded. Because behind every audience cheer, there's a meaningful gaze from those who know him best. And if you miss that, you miss the core of what truly happened.